Say good morning. Okay, so I'm starting at about 9 in the morning. This is my start, and I'm gonna feed it. Usually I'm lazy and I'll just feed it in the jar. But since I'm making a video, I'll do it nice, and I'm going to do it in a new jar. Can use a new jar anyways. Okay, so you need a 1/4 cup of your start. Hold on, I can't do that with one hand. Oh. So I'm gonna dump this off the top. Some people just mix it in. I kind of think it looks gross, so I'll dump it off. I think it's called the SCOBY is what they call it, but I could be totally wrong. So you need a 1/4 cup start. You'll dump that in your jar. You need to put it in glass because it's plastic. It like eats away, I guess, and metal can contaminate it. So make sure you put your start in glass and you store it in glass. And then, so that's a 1/4 cup of the start, and then a 1/2 cup water. Hold on. And then 3/4 cup flour, which I usually do a 1/4 cup 3 times, but I just had this ready, so we'll see if I can get this in easily. I don't know, we'll see. I might have to use a little spoon, hold on. Okay, so we'll just spoon it in because I usually just use a 1/4 cup, and I usually use a wide mouth jar also because it's easier to pour things in and stir. So, you want to make cookies? Yeah. Daphne wants to make chocolate chip cookies. She's showing me the chocolate chips right now. Okay, so that is all you put in it right now, and you just stir it really, really good. You want to stir it really good so that you can mix it all together, and then so that it has lots of air mixed in, so to help it grow, I guess, is what I've read and been told. It's way easier in a wide mouth jar, so get a wide mouth jar when you do it. Or if you have a glass bowl, you can put it in a glass bowl, but it's easy to store in a mason jar because they're skinnier. And sometimes I stir it with just a normal knife, butter knife. But I've read that it's not good to stir it with metal. I don't know why, but I've never had a problem with it. This is just what I have on hand. So, okay, and I'll just try and scrape the sides real good. And we'll watch it grow. So, that's it. That's all you do for the first part. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that you'll want to put a plastic lid on it, or you can use a paper towel with a rubber band so that it can breathe. And when you put the lid on, don't screw it on all the way. So just set it on and then set it somewhere. Don't set it in a window because the sun can kill it, but you don't want it in the fridge when you're growing it. So just set it on your counter out of the sunlight, and then you just let it sit. And it'll take about 6-ish hours, and then we will make our dough. Okay, here's where the sourdough is now. I put this rubber band on it to mark where it started. It started right below this line, and now you can see it's almost double in size. And I did it at 9, and now it's 4. So what is that, like 7 hours? It usually takes I think they say from anywhere from 6 to 12 hours you can let this rise. But there is a point where it's too much, and then the air releases and it won't rise your bread. So here we go. Okay, So you need a cup of the sourdough starch, 1 1/3 cup water, 2 teaspoons of salt, and about 3 1/2 cups flour. So what I do is I'll put the water in first in my mixer. Some people do it by hand with a dough whisk, which I do have, and I just prefer using my mixer because I think it's way easier. Then I put in my salt with a touch of crying baby. Come here. You can help me. Okay, just a minute. And then okay, listen. I need your help. Listen. Then you need a cup of the sourdough starch, okay? So you have to just push it down. You want to get some of the air out so it's not as spacious. And then you're going to pour it into this measuring cup.
Mom, can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
What can I help with?
I'll tell you in just a minute. And you need a whole cup. So sometimes I had to throw away some of my starch because I felt like it wasn't doing great. I'm going to feed this one again today. This is just a tiny bit of starch left. But usually I just store it and store it. Okay, so there's my cup. Now you want to make sure it floats in the water. And it's hard to tell because this is so much starch in this little bit of water. But you can, I'll show you. Hold on, I will show you.
Show him.
Oh, it just sank, but there was a little piece floating, but since it's so much, anyways, okay. You know it's ready when it floats. So you can do a little test with your starch. You can just put a little bit of it in the water and then you'll be able to see that it floats and then you'll know it's ready. But as long as your starch has risen at least double, then you'll know it's ready. Yeah, okay, hop down. Will you grab me the big measuring cup? We need another big measuring cup. Okay. Hold on. You're gonna have the blue one right now. Perfect. Thank you. I have 3 sometimes happy helpers. Some people measure their flour by weight. I don't have a scale, so I do about 3. So I'll put 3 cups in, just like that. So I haven't mixed it at all yet. And then I start mixing it. And I'll just let it mix for a minute. Okay, so here, this is after 3 cups. So you want it to not completely form into a ball like a normal dough, but you want it to be more than that. So I'm just gonna, I had a 1/2 cup in here, and I'm just going to slowly add a little bit at a time, and like maybe 2 tablespoons at a time, and we'll see where that gets us. You can see you want it to be pretty moist. It's not gonna, I mean, it's gonna be pretty sticky when you touch it. But in the next part, as we do the stretch and fold, it will get less and less sticky. Sometimes if I add too much flour at this part, I'll go back in and add some water if I need to, but this is looking good. So you can see it's starting to, it's still sticking to the bottom and the sides a little bit, but it's more of a solid form. Okay, so I would say that I did that, and that was about 3 1/4 cups flour. And this is what it's looking like. Still sticky, but very cohesive. And there's my little helper. Okay, so after that's mixed and well incorporated all together, you'll let it sit for about 30 minutes. So I scrape it off the dough hook of my mixer. and I just will form it into a ball. You can use your hands or a spatula, and I'll show you. Let me get the bowl out. Okay. So this is what the dough looks like. I think it's called a shaggy dough. So I do this kind of. I just kind of scrape it, form it into a ball. You can use your hands, you can use a spatula. Just scrape the sides and kind of mix it together. This isn't really stretch and folding it, but kind of. Okay, so I'm gonna get all that dough off. So now it's just like that. It's pretty sticky, but it's not gonna like completely stick to my hands. Make sure you cover it just like other bread so that the moisture doesn't come out, and let it sit for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and do the first stretch and fold. Okay, we're gonna do the first stretch and fold. So what you need to do, I'm right by my sink, but you'll just get your hands wet, and you're gonna take it, you're gonna stretch and fold, okay? Ready? Stretch and fold. And you're gonna just do that all the way around the bowl, and you just need to get your hands wet that one time, and it will be sticky the first couple times you do it. You stretch and fold. Okay, so we've done the stretch and folds now 5 times, and this is my last one. And the dough is really cohesive and smooth, and it doesn't stick to my hand as much. So it's going to sit overnight. I'm just gonna put it into a ball shape, best you can, cover it, and let it rise overnight. Okay, here I am, and it's like 7 in the morning, and it's risen overnight. So now I'm going to roll it out and put it in my cast iron Dutch oven that I bake it in. This is what I bake it in. Some people put parchment paper in, but I am going to just spray it because I think that's easier. Okay, so now it's out of the pan. You're gonna do the stretch and folds to roll it out. And just do a few times. And see how it's not super sticky, but a little sticky to my hands. And then when you have it in a nice ball shape, it's a little sticky, you just put it in the pan. It's not perfect, but this is what it looks like, and I'll let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 hours, and you can see that it's about double in size. So now I'm going to take my razor blade, and I'm gonna do some scoring on it. You can do any design you want, and you can. Then this is when you also want to preheat your oven so that in about 20 minutes it's ready. And I'll show you. It's hard to do this one-handed. Huh. It's not so easy when you're holding a little guy. Okay. So this is my score that I did. You can just do a line, you can do anything fancy, less fancy. This is not my prettiest loaf, but it will taste good. Okay, and as you can see, we both have crazy hairs. Okay, so now it's ready to go in the oven, and I'm just splashing some water in there. Just get your hands a little wet and then splash it in. Make sure you cover it at first. You'll put it in the oven for 35 minutes at 450 degrees. Okay, now you want to just check it and see what it looks like. And I usually leave it in for about 3 to 5 more minutes. Okay, here's the finished product. Obviously my scoring didn't turn out so good, but it'll taste good.